bring 'em out, bring 'em out. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
Give a raucous round of applause for Michael Rooks and T.I. How has geography, how has your location, how has where you are in the world influenced, the way that you've conducted your artistic practice?
I like to get into the community and hear what you all have to say and think and what you're looking at, what turns you on. But also you guys. I go to artists. You're my first line.
Right.
I want to hear what you are thinking about, who you're looking at, because obviously that's who I should be looking at. So it's not about me. It's about me being a mirror, a reflection of a larger cultural phenomenon. And you guys as artists are the leaders of that. You're like, I'm your servant. So I go to you guys.
Have I ever bowed to
I
you?
am.
Have I ever
I didn't even know this thing came with servants.
I know.
That's an intangible. That's just added bonus. I think art is a reflection of your circumstances, your life, your environment, whether it's region, whether it's social status, whether it's, just you, who you are as a person. Your environment will attribute to you becoming this person. Whether it's a person who wears shorts in the wintertime because they're used to Chicago cold and they come down to Atlanta and they say, this ain't cold, I'm used to Chicago cold. You know what I'm saying? It will influence, who you are as a person, and you won't have, and I feel like what we're trying to discuss, and we're applying a lot of thought, a lot of logic, and a lot of reason to it, but art is something that you don't even really think about. When you see a picture, you don't have to know what it is. It translates to you and it says something to you. When you hear a song, even if you don't even really understand the words for real, there's a feeling. And I think that in music, and I'm just going to get on, my particular profession, or one of my professions for a moment, I think that what we have gotten away with in the magnitude of profits that we've been able to generate over the years is now that we looking to make money. When we hear a record, we looking to do ABC 1, 2, 3, and apply a formula that will generate income for the purposes not to share art, but for the purposes to earn income and to make money. When we started this, and supposedly this is what it was supposed to be, and this is what my homeboy for real, Skateboard P, told me. He says, man, what we got away from when we first started, what made me want to do music at first, what made you want to do music at first is when you heard something, whether you did it or someone else did it, not what you heard, but when the music was playing, when the song was playing, when you could close your eyes and you could see or you could feel something without seeing it and without actually being told what to feel. And I think that is what art is. So to try to come up with some thought or some logic to make that make sense to people who it don't make sense to,
or to recreate it.
because when we try and make it make sense, then that means that you can now you don't have to be sincere about your passion. Now, okay, I've told you how you're supposed to feel about this, and I told you how you're supposed to come about this thought and to lead to that thought, to lead to this action, to lead to this expression. So now, if you just want to get in it to make money, you are really kind of diluting the purpose of art in the first place. Rap, I thought it was just like kicks, snares, bass drums, and
words.
I thought it was words.
Right,
Yeah, exactly. And it's a lot more expression to it. And it isn't until I guess you're in a forum or have a forum or a platform like this to where you can observe it and critique it from so many different angles.
Yeah, well, that's the beauty of it all, is that this is all art. As we look at the contemporary culture, as we look at the environment, as we look at the landscape right now, we're seeing a lot more of a resurgence, a reconvening of what's happening between the visual and the audible. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing Jay-Z and Pace Gallery. We're seeing Kanye West and Pharrell, doing these collaborations with visual artists. And I want to just kind of put this out to both of you guys to just maybe, give your own personal impression about why.
I think T.I. hit it. It's economics.
I think that's one thing. That's one thing. But I think that more so than that, I think that, while so many different people in society and a lot of people that we see as figures of prominence and figures of leadership, and while we see them create so many different things that to separate us, whether it's age, whether it's religion, whether it's race, whether it's sexual orientation, whether it's social status, whether it's your region, whether it's what color your gang represents, whether it's whatever,
purple,
what kind
by
of
the way.
clothes you
Mine's
wear,
purple.
what kind of haircut you
yeah.
have. You find so many different things that separate us. Well, us artists, man, we just trying to find something that we can all relate to. No matter what that is we both like this pain, we both like this song, we both grew up on this side of town, we both, your daddy left you, my daddy left me too. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You got beat up in kindergarten at the sandbox? Hey, man, I did too. You know what I'm saying? People laughed at you because you couldn't afford the real Jordans. You had to go somewhere and get till you figured out a way to earn
Right.
income for yourself at some point in your life. You had to overcome that embarrassment. You had to overcome that, I guess, that feeling of being ostracized just for reasons that you weren't aware of and couldn't control. And art made all that go away because at least for one moment, while we were sitting in this movie theater, while we were listening to this song in this club, we were at this art gallery, or we were sitting in this room together, we all found something to agree about when everybody else is trying to find ways to separate and divide us. That's one, I guess, reason.
I think that taking an historical view again, that there are artists working today who are of sort of hip hop culture, who emerged from a practice that was informed by the street, whether it was Cause or Mark Bradford or other artists whose careers sort of rose from the street. And then there's others who are in it, in that world. And I would count someone like Kehinde Wiley as someone in that category who are really in it, but they really came from a different place. And then there's a whole world of artists who are appropriating, who are adjacent to it. They're appropriating, they're taking from it because I believe it's the most predominant cultural phenomenon globally. And so for once now, since the early 80s, when it became a phenomenon in New York and Jersey and elsewhere, hip-hop culture was not given an invitation to be at the table of the contemporary art world.
Right.
There were gatekeepers in the early 80s and the 90s, Warhol and others. And then through the different dips and upswings of the economy, hip-hop culture has thrived. The art world has gone through these volatile moments. But now, as we experience this incredible exuberance in the art market, it's driven by the predominant cultural milieu, which is hip-hop. And for that reason, no, there's no more need for an invitation. The other people need the invitation to the table, because this is what's driving fashion, visual arts, music, you name it, even perhaps the architecture. I don't know, food. Your wife's a chef.
Sure.
I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah, we all up in there.
So now it's turned. I mean, there's like a wonderful turning point that's happened in the last 10 years.
I've been given the signal, and I don't want to end this because I'm having a good time. Maybe we could continue this.
Sure.
Yeah.
Over some beers or something like that.
What? Whoa, no more wine?
Yeah, well, we can do it over more wine too. You know what I'm saying? There's more in the bottle. This has been a really great kickoff for this event, for this series, Intercessions. Thank you to my guest T.I., to Michael Rooks.
Right on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Fahamu, yes, thank you. Hey, I just wanted to thank T.I., Fahamu, Art Papers, all of you, the Friends of Contemporary Art, my support group at the museum who've helped to make part of tonight possible.
Once again, thank you to everybody. I'm going to turn it over to my man DJ Naka. Make it happen. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all get home safe. Thank you very much. This is not the end. This is the beginning. Thank you.